Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. So this is episode 33 of season 4, and I have something special for y'all. I have a little bit about the tasting we did 2 nights ago. This is actually Monday, Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. And talk a little bit about the whiskey that we did. For those of you who are just new to the show, welcome. Welcome to Javier in the Air, not on the air, in the air. And welcome back to those of you who have been here before. I'm not going to sing Welcome Back Cotter, but for those of you who know, you know. So, why don't we go ahead and get right into it? This may be, I'm still trying my best to keep everything under 30, and so far I've been doing well, 30 minutes that is. So let's go ahead and get to Trash in the Hood. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood, Week 58. Alright, welcome everybody. Well, this is day 1 of Week 58. As you see there, not a lot of cigarette butts, which I was happy about. However, I did have a vape pen, a cigarette box, and a chaw can, some rope, bunch of beverage cans. I guess the weekend was kind of thirsty for everyone. Wrappers, and always the bits of metal and string and paper and whatnot. So wasn't too bad. However, going into day 2, you see there was 53 cigarette butts, a bunch of perfume bottle that had the top broken off, a DeWalt battery pack, a couple of cigarette boxes, bunch of crushed soda and beverage cans, Oreo wrappers, candy wrappers, a bunch of paper and plastic and string and metal and all that, as is the usual. It's crazy how much gets out there. I think it's the lawnmowers of the city that chops it up like that, but I managed to get it all. This is day 4. We didn't do the coffee walk this time, but this is day 4. So here is 40 or 50 of these, 51 I think it was, and then beverage containers and tops and plastic and all that, a lot of receipts, and a sock. Just a sock. I never find a pair. I always just find one sock. It's crazy what gets thrown out onto the streets. So here we are again. So there's the week 58, by the way. Those of you who have been asking, yes, that's 58 continual weeks of me walking track. I think I have to be honest. I think there may have been 1 or 2 weeks during the cold snap where I only got 1 day in, if that. But for the most part, it's been 58 weeks continuously walking. So part of the walking is for health reasons, and part of it is to pick up the trash. And then the reason I pick up the trash is to make sure that I keep walking. So it's a little bit of combination, but it does help the streets to look nice. And let me tell you, when I'm driving home from work, or I'm driving to run an errand, or I'm doing something like that, and the streets are clean, it makes me feel good. I know it makes some other people that live in my neighborhood feel good as well. And if I can do that and it makes people feel better, then I'm going to continue doing it. So as long as I'm able to keep walking, I will be picking up trash. So there was, like I said, 58 weeks. Hoping to keep it going. If anybody is wanting to know what they need to do to start picking up trash, by all means, reach out to me. I'll let you know. But it's simple. You want to walk. You want to pick up trash. Get yourself a grabber that you can buy at Amazon for somewhere between $9 and $25. Just depends on how fancy you want to get those grabbers. And then get yourself an old bag like you would use for groceries. I have one that I bought many years ago that I decided this is my trash bag, and I started using it to pick up trash. I only use it to pick up trash, and so it works out good. So I haven't cleaned it in a while. I think it's going to hold up for at least another 10-20 weeks. Wish me luck. But if not, I will always get another bag. So it's that easy to do. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Walk or do whatever you want to do. I'm not here to force people to pick up trash. Though it would be nice, I'm not going to force anybody. That's your choice in your world, whether you want to throw it out into nature and let it not decay, or if you want to pick it up. That's simply something that you have to deal with, you have to live with. However, if you want to do that, you can do like I just said, get those tools. Get yourself a good hat because it still is friggin' hot out there. I wear a hat all the time, no matter what. When it comes to picking up trash, people have seen me out there with my Tilly and durable hat that is just circular, wide brim, um, and it helps keep a little of the sun off me. I do keep a backpack that I have. It's also called a camelback that I keep water in that I take with me when I walk so I can sip from so I don't get too dehydrated. It's also good during the cold months or month and a half, 5 weeks that we have here in Texas that I can put warm water in or I can put anything else I want in there. I don't put anything other than water for the most part. I tried one time with another camelback putting hot chocolate in, which was wonderful, except it gets nasty inside the pack and I could never really clean it out without still tasting chocolate. And so I know it was probably growing bacteria in there, so I wound up having to chuck the bladder and get a new bladder. So, anyway, if you want to do it, do it. If you feel fine tossing trash out, that's up to you. If you don't throw trash out, but you don't want to pick up trash, that's also up to you. That's fine. So, but if you want to do it, get to it and reach out to me, and maybe we can meet up one day for coffee or something like that and talk about our trash adventures. Okay, so the next section of the show is probably going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do our healthy after 50. So now I've been getting some questions about the healthy after 50, and I'm also running out of topics to talk about healthy after 50. Talked about mental, physical, that sort of thing, exercises, insurance, stuff like that, wills, what you can do to keep yourself on top of things, and really just like go walking and keep yourself active. So I think I'm just going to talk about activity, period, why it should be done. So here is our Healthy After 50. Dark Frog Social Media presents Healthy After 50. Hey everybody, welcome to Healthy After 50. So I might have to start running through some of the same sections again unless I hear from other people talking about different areas that I have not touched base on. But today I want to just mention, before I do that, I just want to mention activity, period. So as we get older, our body grows slower, things start to take longer to do. We start having issues with perhaps not remembering certain things, or our long-term memory starts forgetting a couple of things, and other people are like, no, that's not what happened, this happened. So it's not necessarily time to be alarmed. That does happen to everyone. If you start noticing a lot of that and you start have people always constantly saying that no, that's not what it is, and you have to go and check, or you just can't remember, then it might be time to go and get yourself checked at a doctor. Which, by the way, I am not a doctor by any way, shape, or form, so everything I take is just take it with a grain of salt. But I firmly believe that if you start having issues of a nature where you're forgetting things, or you're having problem moving, or you're having problem with your agility, getting out of the chair, getting off of the toilet, then you may need to go get yourself checked out. You should always try to get a handful of doctors that you like and that you know that you're going to go to. But let's talk about more back to activity. So as we get older, like I said, things start becoming more difficult to do. We want to try to remain more active. And I'm not just talking physically, but let's, for the first part, talk about physical activity. You want to be able to go, or you want to go and try to walk. If you have problems walking, you want to try to take either a cane or a walker with you and try to get a little bit of exercise. Check with your doctor as what you can start doing. And you, first of all, you have to be mentally prepared that some of this is going to hurt, and some of this is going to be very difficult to do, and you're not going to want to do it. What's easier, sitting on the couch eating whatever you want, watching TV, or getting out into the hot sun, or sometimes into the cold winter, and do some activity? We all know what's easier, but we all know what's better for us. So you want to try to maintain a certain level of activity. I'm not talking about going out and doing CrossFit 3, 4, 5 times a day. I'm not even talking about CrossFit. Some people, that activity is a little bit too strenuous and will always be a little bit too strenuous. But you want to get out there and do some sort of activity. Um, sit, stand up and sit down, stand up and sit down 10 times, 3 or 4 times a day. And start with that. If you're starting from zero activity, start with that. No weight, just your own body weight, just trying to stand up without using your hands to get out of a chair. Now, I'm not talking like a soft, cushy sofa where you may have to rock forward, and you may have always had to rock forward. But you want to start with a nice, sturdy chair and just stand up and sit down. Now, for those of you who may be a little bit more beyond that, swimming is a wonderful activity. I myself suck at swimming, and it's more of a flailing than anything else, but it's still a good activity that gets the heart pumping. And with anything else, always check with your doctor before you start any activity, because you may be at a spot where the doctor's like, you simply can't do that, or you need to build up to that. And always go by what the doctors say. By now, everybody should have a good doctor that they see on a regular basis and that they know that they can trust, and so you go to them and tell them what you're trying to do. So other activity, lay down on the floor. How difficult is it for you to lay down on the floor? Try to get up off the floor, either without your hands pushing off the ground or with your hands pushing off the ground. See what you can do. Again, some of these activities may not be ready for you, or you may not be ready for them. Always check with your doctor. If you can do that, if you can get off the floor reasonably well, try to do that a couple of times a day and start from there. I would not work into any weights at all unless you are already accustomed to using weights. And then if you are, do some of the same activity using the weights. So I recommend starting off slow, working your way into it. It takes 3 weeks to form a habit. It takes 3 seconds to break it. So try to form these habits so that you can use it and you can stay active for perhaps what is going to be the rest of your life. Activity is not something you can give up. You can't afford not to, because you don't want to be the person that can't get off of the bench or off of the chair or off of the sofa to go and see your loved ones and give them a hug. You don't want that to happen. That's horrible. So let's stay out there. Let's keep ourselves active in any way, shape, or form that you can, and let me know how it goes. Thanks a lot, everyone. Okay, so for those of you who are trying to stay hydrated on this Labor Day, let's get some hydration going. So I read a good article about trying to keep your arteries unclogged. Now, this is not a wonder cure. This is not a supplement I'm trying to sell you. This is not anything other than that, anything like that. And so what I read the other day was that citrus, specifically limes and lemons, do help to draw out some of the potential calcium that may build up in your arteries. So it's not a cure. It's not a wonder drug. Again, it's not like you're going to drink a glass and be like, boom, I'm back to normal. No, this is simply something that may help you along the way as we get older. So lately, and also the same thing with ginseng, specifically either raw shredded ginseng or powdered ginseng if you don't have the raw form. So what I've been drinking lately is just simply water with some juice, some lemon juice and lime juice squirted in there, squeezed in there. If I have it, I will slice it up and put slices in there, removing the seeds, of course. And then I add a little ginseng, and that's it. No sugar, no anything like that. To add to the sugar that I already probably shouldn't eat, that I eat a little bit of, but less now. Thank you, Brother Rob. You get used to it. It's not as bitter as you would think. You don't want to put that much in there. You want to start off slow, and I still wouldn't recommend putting 2 whole lemons in there, because that's going to be really bitter. But you want to try to get some of that in there, and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then by all means chuck it in the bin and say it's garbage and I'm full of garbage, and go back to what you were doing. But every little bit helps. Every little bit that's not snake oil. So There's a lot of things out there. I might have to have a healthy after 50 section dealing with con artists and their supplements. There are some supplements that may do some beneficial output for you. None of them or end all be all cure all. Hey, I can have one of these and I'm cured, or one of these and I don't have any heart problems. No, that is not going to happen. That isn't there yet until they start actually using CRISPR, where you can rewrite your DNA and do some crazy stuff with your heart. That is not out there. So don't be fooled by that. You can come to me and ask me about supplements, and I'll give you some knowledge on it and research that I've done. If it helps you a little bit, it may help a little bit. It could also be a placebo effect. But if it works for you a little bit, then that's good. It's never going to be a cure. At least not at this point. Nothing that is out there right now is a cure. Let me say it again. Nothing that is out there right now is a cure. Some of these things may help you, but if you led a life of sedentary, or you led a life of, sloth and gluttony and debauchery, there ain't nothing out there that's really going to help you. You're going to have to just kind of do what the doctors tell you and just do your best. So there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our Zen moment. I have a special Zen moment. I got some shots of the blood moon and also the hunter's moon, I think it was called. There was 2 or 3 types of moon, same moon, out this past week, and I managed to get out into the backyard and do it. Now the problem with my camera, my phone camera, is that it picks up so much light, even with no flash on. It doesn't give you its due diligence of what you really want to see of the moon. So you're going to see these things and you're going to say, that's not the moon, but it is the moon. So I saved it for a Zen moment. So here you go. Okay, there you have it. Special Blood Moon Zen Moment episode. So now get to the last but best part of the show. One of the best parts of the show, from what I get from feedback from individuals, is our spirit time. But this is a special spirit time, as in on Saturday, September 2nd, we did a whiskey tasting. Now, for those of you who have not watched the show very often, first of all, welcome to the show. Second of all, for the past 5-ish years at my house, I've been doing tasting parties, which is once a month. I or a group pick a wine, a liqueur, or beer. So 3 sections, and we have a theme for a tasting. People come over and they taste what it is, and the winner gets a door prize. So the winner this time was Chris and Maya, and our theme was whiskey. So I have shots of the bottles that we drank from, and so I wanted to do a special episode showing all the ones that were submitted, one that was rejected, which was mine, and also who the winner was. So let's go to our special spirit time. Dark Frog Social Media presents Spirit Time. This week, distilled in Texas dark liquor. So here's our first one. This was Island Getaway Dark Rum. This was, I believe, close to Fort Worth, if I'm not remember. It was really good. Really on the sweet side as far as dark rum. It did have maple syrup used for the fermentation process. So this was our first submission. So it was done by Julia Takashita. So here's the second one, which was offered by James Takashita. This is William Price, their coffee liqueur. So we did say dark liquor distilled in Texas. We didn't say it had to be a rum or a whiskey or anything. So here you go. Very nice, very sweet side as well. Something you would want to add to ice cream or something like that. The third one was my submission, which got rejected. This was Desert Dog Texas Sodal. It turns out Texas Sodal is a clear white liquid. I had no idea. Very peppery. It is reminiscent of a tequila. It is kind of trying to compete with tequila. It is not a tequila because it is made here in Texas, and it is not made from agave plants. It is made from like a variant of agave. So the next submission was Black Land Texas Pecan Brown Sugar Bourbon. A lot of words for something that was super fantastic. Great vintage style bottle, great fantastic top, and it was really smooth. It was also sweet, but not as sweet as the first 2 submissions. However, it was fantastic. Everybody voted for it, and that was our winner of the night. So thanks to Chris and Maya for submitting that. Here's our 5th one. This was Raylan, a Special Reserve XO rum, and it was really good. Not on the sweet side, heading towards the more savory taste type of thing, less sweet. And it was really good as well. Just wasn't as good as Blackland. It was something that I could see myself drinking like on an evening, just on the rocks type of thing. And then the last one was Texas Rum. This was something that a distillery started making whiskey first, and then they started making rum. And they're well known for their whiskey, and it was really good. Corey submitted this and gave us a good history behind it. Which helped. Really high proof, like 132, something like that. And it burned, but it was really good. It's something I could also see myself drinking on a late night. So there you have it, everyone. Special dark liquor distilled in Texas. Special tasting that we had September 2nd at night. Went really well. Like I mentioned before, Blackland was the winner submitted by Chris and Maya. Fantastic. Thanks, Chris and Maya, for that. You'll be getting your gift card in the mail if I don't see you sooner. And it was fantastic. A good night was done by all. We had some brisket. We had some rum cake. We had some charcuterie. It was really good. So now everybody gets to vote on what's going to be in the next one. So the next one's going to be early October, and it's going to be cider. That's right, one of my favorite words to say ever, cider. And if you go to a cidery, get a cider, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So for those of you who get invited, your invite will be coming in the next couple of weeks. We want to rest from this one, and then I'll send something out. And it will be early October. I may still squeak in a pumpkin tasting with Brother Rob and I. A lot of people didn't like our one last year, so it might have to be just he and I doing it as we've done in years past. So there you have it, everyone. Special episode with our tasting. I hope you enjoyed it. Please come back. If you know somebody who may be interested in any or all sections of my show, please let them know and share the link. My handle on YouTube is Javier in the Air 01, all one word. That's Javier in the Air 01. If you have any thoughts, comments, or concerns, please by all means shoot them my way, and I will take them into account. If you have any other questions that you'd like to see on the show, please send them to me, and I will get you on the show, either asking the question or ask the question that you sent me. If you're wanting to be on the show as a co-host, or you have something that you are passionate about that you'd like to talk about on the show, just let me know. So I hope you're enjoying this Labor Day. I'm off to shake some bones with the neighbors, and I will see everybody again next week. Thanks a lot, everyone.